In the tech world, it feels like the ground is shifting right under our feet. The career paths that we all thought were safe and secure, well, they're suddenly anything but. The old rules for getting ahead or even just for staying employed, they're just gone. So today, we're going to build a new survival guide for the modern IT career. Man, this really hits home, doesn't it? It just perfectly captures that anxiety that so many of us are feeling right now. I mean, you can pour decades of your life into a company, give it your all, and then it's all just wiped away with a single cold notification. For thousands and thousands of IT pros, this isn't just some abstract fear. It's what they've just lived through.
And that really gets to the heart of our first big point today. The loyalty myth is officially dead. That unspoken promise, the one that said, if you work hard and stay loyal, your company will have your back, yeah, that social contract is completely broken.
Let's just be super clear about this new reality we're in. Have you been there for years? It's not a shield. Got tons of experience? That's not a shield either. The simple, hard truth is that job security, at least the way we used to think about it, is basically a thing of the past.
And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, that's just for struggling startups, I want you to look at this list. We are talking about the absolute giants of the industry. Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft, Salesforce. These are incredibly profitable, top-tier companies, and every single one of them has done mass layoffs recently. This isn't just some small problem. It's a massive shift happening across the entire tech world.
Just to put a real number on this, to show you the scale we're talking about, look at the impacts from just one round of layoffs at one major tech company. 12,000. That's how many experienced professionals in India lost their jobs. Just like that. These were people with great salaries, tons of experience, and established lives. The scale is it's staggering. Okay, so if these hugely profitable companies aren't failing, then what is actually going on here? Why are these industry leaders cutting their staff so aggressively? Let's dig into the new economics of the tech industry.
So the old logic, right, the one on the left, it was pretty simple. A company starts losing money, so it has to lay people off to stay in business. But today's reality, over on the right, is a completely different story. Companies are letting people go not to save the business, but to take those salary budgets and pour them into massive new investments, especially in things like data centers and, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. It's not about survival anymore, it's about a strategic pivot.
So you might be thinking, okay, well, some roles are just becoming obsolete, but my job is safe. But the thing is, these cuts are happening everywhere, from software developers to, yes, even AI engineers, all the way up to senior leadership. No single role is truly safe. The cuts are broad, and they're hitting all levels of seniority and all kinds of technical skills. The key takeaway here is this: you just can't rely on your job title to protect you anymore. All right, so that's the problem. It's big, it's a little scary, and it can feel overwhelming. But, and this is important, you are not powerless. The very first step in protecting yourself is learning how to spot the red flags, the warning signs that things might be about to change. So I really want you to take a second here and just be honest with yourself. As we walk through these next few warning signs, ask yourself, does any of this sound a little familiar? Are you seeing any of these signs at your job right now? These are the things you really need to be watching for. A sudden drop in your workload. Layoff rumors that just won't go away, because where there's smoke, there's often fire. Or maybe your team feels totally understaffed, but weirdly, no new projects are getting kicked off. Or maybe you just have that general feeling of being on the bench way too often. All of these are signals that you need to start thinking about your next move. So whether you see those warning signs or not, what's the plan? You need a new strategy, a proactive playbook for managing your career in this totally new environment. This isn't about climbing some predictable corporate ladder anymore. It's about navigating a constantly shifting landscape. This new playbook has 4 basic fundamental steps. We're going to start with your mindset, then move to staying active in the job market, then focus on your identity, and finally, wrap up with constant self-evaluation. Let's break each one down. First, and honestly, this is the most important one, the mindset shift. Your company will always put its own bottom line first. It is not sitting around mapping out your 10-year career plan. That means your primary loyalty can't be to your employer anymore. It has to be to yourself, to your skills, and to your own professional journey. Okay, step 2 is all about action. I want you to start thinking of job security not as something you have, but as something you do. It's about staying active. Always have a line in the water. Go on interviews, even if you're happy where you are. This keeps your skills sharp, your network fresh, and it makes sure you are never, ever caught completely by surprise. Step 3 is about owning who you are.
It is so important to separate who you are as a professional from where you happen to work right now. Your job is just a role you're playing. It's not your entire identity. Your value, your skills, your self-respect, those belong to you, and they go with you wherever you go next. The company doesn't own them.
And finally, step 4, you have to make self-evaluation a regular habit. I'm serious. Put a reminder in your calendar for every 6 months and ask yourself 2 simple questions. 1, am I delivering real actual value in this job? And 2, am I learning the skills I'm going to need for my next job? If the answer to either of those is no, it's time to start making a plan. Now, having a solid career strategy is absolutely critical, but it's only half of the equation. None of it really works if you're not financially prepared to handle some instability. You need to build yourself a financial fortress that can handle any storm that comes your way.
Think about your career and your money in stages, right? In your 20s, your absolute priority is learning and getting experience. Then in your 30s, you're juggling career growth, maybe family, all while trying to keep your skills sharp. But by your 40s, the main financial goal has to be maximizing your income and building a really significant cushion. That's what gives you options later on, so that by your 50s and beyond, you're not totally dependent on that next paycheck.
So what does this financial fortress actually look like? Well, it really stands on 3 pillars. First, you need a serious emergency fund that can cover your expenses for months. Second, you need to be investing wisely so your money is working for you. And third, if you can swing it, create a second source of income, consulting, a small side project, anything, so you are never, ever reliant on just one paycheck.
So let's just end with this one fundamental truth. Your company isn't preparing for your future. The full responsibility for your career, for your security, has shifted completely onto your shoulders. So the only question that really matters now is, are you?